And who is that?
Terence Crawford, that's it. You know, I'm 41-0 for a reason. You gotta have 4 arms.
I know. I know.
And 6 eyes.
Our job is to line it up. And us fighters, we're warriors. We always want to fight the best.
Floyd Mayweather has issued a warning to Crawford after heated talk about who would win. Floyd made it clear that this warning is about chasing something that may never happen. He says Crawford might be chasing a ghost because the Mayweather who ruled the sport retired on his own terms, and he isn't letting anyone rewrite that story.
Me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
Floyd told Smith that boxing isn't only about who hits harder today. It's about who ruled the stage when it counted. And in Floyd's view, Crawford reaching his mid-30s is too late to ask for a fight that could have happened when it would have drawn massive numbers.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
That message came during a heated debate on Stephen A. Smith's platform, where Floyd sat across from Crawford in a rare back and forth that the boxing world instantly locked onto. Mayweather stayed calm, but his words carried weight. He basically told Crawford, "Win everything you want, beat guys I didn't fight, but you're not rewriting my history." With that, Floyd kept the focus on his own era, while pointing out that Crawford arrived too late to meet him in the ring.
I want to lose. I don't want to lose because now society has shaped things to where if a fighter lose, they talk so bad about, oh, he's a bum. I knew he was overrated. Oh, y'all hyped him up, and now they gotta hear it. But back in the day, they didn't have social media. You know what I mean? So all that wasn't in there.
But this isn't only about 2 fighters taking shots. It's about how fans, fighters, and analysts are lining up on both sides. Even current fighters like Ryan Garcia jumped in, adding more fuel to the debate. Garcia, who never holds back, had sharp words for Mayweather on Ring Magazine's Inside the Ring. When LeSean McCoy said nobody changed the game like Floyd, Garcia cut in with, "in a bad way." He argued Floyd mastered timing more than fighting, waiting until guys like Pacquiao or Cotto were past their peak. He never fought anybody really in their prime after junior lightweight, Garcia said, claiming Floyd's perfection was built more on perfect matchmaking than perfect fighting. To him, that's where boxing went wrong, because fighters after Floyd began protecting the zero instead of chasing the toughest fights.
Everybody acting like Bud is the second coming of Mayweather. Y'all got the game fucked up. Mayweather actually didn't get hit. Bud gets hit by dudes that, like, who on Bud's resume is an equivalent of someone on Floyd's resume? So that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd not getting hit by elites, Bud getting hit by non-elites, and somehow y'all think Canelo not about to touch.
That's where Max Kellerman jumped in with his own view. Kellerman, always one of the sharpest voices in boxing, explained why Crawford might actually have a stronger legacy case than Floyd, depending on perspective. Floyd picked when he fought guys, especially after lightweight, Kellerman said. So even though he has more big names, people remember he didn't want certain fights at certain times. Crawford, even with a thinner resume, wanted everyone all the time. That matters.
Floyd versus Triple G. Listen, man, Floyd didn't fight him, and Floyd is an all-time great. But what a missed opportunity. You got Crawford going from 135 and talking about fighting Canelo at 168. It's kind of the...
And that's the divide, resume versus intent. Mayweather's resume is packed with stars: De La Hoya, Pacquiao, Cotto, Hatton, Marquez, Mosley, Gatti, Corrales, and more. But critics like Garcia and Kellerman say timing reduced the shine. Pacquiao was older in 2015. Mosley was 38 after a long break. Cotto had taken heavy punishment already. And Canelo had to make catch weight at just 23. Floyd won every fight, but critics say the asterisk never disappears.
Back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight. And that's what led him to be so great, you know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions, you know, got the most money for beating the most champions. So it's just like, man, he had this guy.
On the other side, Crawford's list isn't as long, but the mindset behind it is different. He didn't care about perfect timing. He fought Shawn Porter when Porter was still dangerous. He dismantled Errol Spence at age 35. And he shocked the world by handling Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. Crawford's issue wasn't avoiding fights, it was that promoters avoided him. As a high-risk, low-reward fighter at Top Rank, he spent years chasing big names that never happened. By the time Spence arrived, Crawford was already deep into his 30s.
We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed?
Now at 38, he's undefeated at 42-0 with undisputed titles in 3 divisions and a list that includes Gamboa, Postal, Jeff Horn, Porter, Spence, and Alvarez. But compared to Floyd's 50 wins, the numbers favor Mayweather. 8 fewer wins doesn't seem huge, but in legacy talk, every number matters. Still, Crawford has one thing Floyd never had, a run into a 6th weight class. If he drops to middleweight for a belt, he'll achieve something Floyd never tried. Floyd stopped at 154. Crawford pushing for bigger challenges may be what shifts the entire debate.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
The timing of their eras adds a twist. Crawford won his first world title in 2014, just a year before Floyd beat Pacquiao and then Berto to close his run. The overlap was small but real. If Floyd had stayed, the fight could have been possible. But by then, Mayweather was already defending his legacy, not risking it. And that's what he meant on Stephen A. Smith's show, Don't Ask Me Now. If it was going to happen, it would have been when the money was biggest. That moment is gone, and so are the what-ifs. Crawford's wins today don't pull Floyd back into the ring.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's true. But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody else? Yeah,
there's an OG
somebody
gotta
pioneer,
right?
Yeah,
you gotta. There's an OG you can't outfigure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't outfigure.
That hasn't stopped fans from imagining the matchup. Mayweather at 147 was a defensive master, nearly impossible to hit clean and able to break opponents down across rounds. He went 12-0 at welterweight from age 28 to 38, owning the division for a decade. Crawford at 147 was more explosive, a switch hitter with power and a natural mean streak. He went 8-0 in 5 years, finishing most opponents violently. He's taller, longer, and more versatile with stance and style.
Surprised that, Crawford wasn't running from him. He was, he was very confident that he could stand there and trade, a lot of times with Canelo.
Crawford fought a brilliant fight. He fought a brilliant fight. He stayed at the right range. He didn't engage with Canelo when Canelo was trying to get him to engage with him. And he took control of the fight. He did what he wanted to do.
In a mythical matchup, Crawford's size and aggression would test Floyd's defense in ways few ever did. Fans compare it to how Paul Williams, tall, high volume, was seen as a nightmare for Floyd, which is why that fight never happened. Add Crawford's adaptability and southpaw power, and it's clear why many think Floyd would have finally had to sweat to keep the 0.
But so strong. That's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol was the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Better Beef as an undisputed champion. Bivol, historically, might go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. If you beat Bivol and you beat Canelo, Crawford might have surpassed TBE.
But Mayweather fans say his style was built to neutralize aggression. He wasn't just slick, he was efficient. He didn't need 70 punches a round. He needed 25 that mattered and made you miss the rest. Against Crawford, who shifts momentum mid-fight, Floyd might frustrate him the way he frustrated Canelo in 2013 or shut down Hatton in 2007. There's also the matter of stage control. Floyd was the pay-per-view king. Crawford never reached that level, even after beating Spence and Canelo. Floyd controlled when, where, and how fights happened. Crawford, despite greatness, never had that leverage. Who wins if this fight happens? Comment below and subscribe for more.